Welcome back to Self-Love Sunday, my dear sister. I'm so happy to have you here. Whether it's your first time or you're coming back, I'm honored you chose me to be part of your journey, perhaps even a deeper healing journey that you're on right now. If you're healing from a trauma bond, I need you to know something first. The way your body feels right now, the confusion, the obsession, the anxiety, the overthinking, the grief, do not mean that you are broken. It means your nervous system got attached to survival instead of safety. And healing from that is not linear. It is not clean. It is not aesthetic. It's chaotic. And despite all of this, it is possible to heal from this. And today's subject will be about that journey. So let's dive into the episode. I want to walk you through what that journey actually looks like, emotionally, mentally, physically, because so many women think that they are failing, and in reality, they are simply moving through the stages of healing. Yeah? And if you're somewhere in the middle of this journey right now, I want you to listen to me carefully. You do not need to become perfect to be loved healthily. You do not need to rush your healing. You do not need to skip ahead. You just need to keep coming back to yourself, one step at a time. I know it's not easy. I know it takes everything from you. It takes all of the depth, all of the strength, all of the pain from you to show up for yourself. But I promise you it's worth it. You are worth it. I already can see and feel that version of you that is already free, that is already healed. And that doesn't mean she's perfect, but she loves herself joyfully through all of the stages of her life. Now let's look at these stages of healing that you will be or you are going through, or you have went through, starting from trauma bond and all the way to a healthy love. What does it look like? Stage number 1, the trauma bond itself. At the beginning, it doesn't feel toxic. It feels intense, magnetic, obsessive, like you finally found the one, right? But underneath that intensity, what usually is emotional highs and lows, confusion, inconsistency, anxiety, overthinking, self-abandonment, shrinking. You start to monitor their moods. You lose connection to your own needs. You begin chasing emotional safety instead of feeling emotionally safe. And because the chemistry is so strong, you believe this must be love. I can never let go of this. Your body is actually becoming addicted to unpredictability. If this is where you are right now, please be gentle with yourself. You are not weak for struggling to let it go, okay? Your nervous system attached itself to survival. This is not healthy for you. Start here, though, not by judging yourself, but just observing yourself. Yeah. Start separating yourself as an observer of your feelings. Notice what does trigger your panic, what makes you abandon yourself, what makes you shrink, what makes you beg for reassurance from the other person, like they were the only person that can give you relief. Yeah. Not with shame, but curiosity. Yeah. Put your hand on your heart sometimes and simply say to yourself, I understand why this hurts. That alone begins to change everything. Stage number 2 is the breaking point. Then eventually something clicks. And honestly, sometimes it's not big or dramatic or visible at first glance. Sometimes it's just a buildup of exhaustion. Your body becomes tired of surviving, tired of confusion, tired of waiting, tired of hoping. And perhaps for the first time in your life, you begin seeing the relationship more clearly instead of only feeling them emotionally, right? This often where the grief starts, because part of you realizes love should not cost you your entire sense of self. And if you are in this stage right now, do not pressure yourself to move on quickly, okay? You do not heal by forcing yourself not to care. You heal by telling yourself the truth gently. Things like, this hurt me. I keep abandoning myself. I deserve consistency too. I deserve to be listened to. I matter. Yeah. This stage requires enormous amount of compassion towards yourself. I know it's difficult, but please do not use this to punish yourself. Why I didn't see this earlier? What am I doing finding myself in this chaos right now? Please do not punish yourself for it. You didn't know. You didn't. Logic does not win with nervous system conditioning, okay? Compassion, self-forgiveness, and compassion again. Right? Be as gentle and loving and compassionate as much as possible for you right now. Yeah. And give yourself whatever you need. Whatever you need in this moment. No judgment. And no judgment throughout all of it. Truth is. Yeah. Stage number 3 is the separation phase. This stage may have many people confused and many people misunderstand it. Because after leaving, you often miss the person immensely. As I said earlier, it's like they were the only person that can solve your pain. Yeah. And that is very confusing because you would think that if you miss them, this was real love. This was something not to leave ever, right? Why does it hurt so much? But this is withdrawal. The truth is, it's like withdrawal from drugs, the strongest drugs available. Your nervous system got used to adrenaline, unpredictability, emotional spikes, intermittent validation and breadcrumbs. Yeah. You were taught to chase. So when this is gone, your body panics, your nervous system panics. You may start to romanticize them. You may start to doubt yourself. You may want to go back, feel guilt, you feel emptiness, feel physical anxiety. That is normal. Painful, yes, but normal. And this is where self-love becomes more practical. Not in a performative way, not by spiritual bypassing, like pretending like the pain doesn't exist, but practical. This is the time for actual self-care as much as possible. So drink more water, sleep, eat nourishing food, go outside, call the people that you feel safe with, yeah? Cry when you need to. And if you didn't have someone to reach out to, if you don't feel like you have someone to reach out to, go to soothing videos on YouTube. See your virtual friends. I'm sure you probably have been, if you are at this stage of separation, I'm sure you have been educating yourself on this subject, on the subject what's happening within you. Why is it happening? Yeah, are they really my love? Were they really my true love? Okay, so if you are educating yourself, you probably have your favorite YouTubers, favorite people out there that recognize something within you. Go to those videos. Yeah, self-soothe through that. Journal instead of writing to them. Try not to contact them. Try to not suppress, but try to express that feeling, that anxiety, that urge to reach out. Try to put it into something else. Yeah. Find an outlet. It can be, as I said, journaling. It can be texting your bestie. Agreeing that I'm going to text you when I feel anxious towards writing to them. You can also, there's a way of texting yourself on one of these communicators, right? Online communicators. You can text yourself and let it all out. Eventually, it will start giving you relief. At first, it feels like nothing can give you the soothing, right? But try not to contact them. But if you did contact them, and they didn't respond, or they abused you again, don't beat yourself up for it, okay? Because it's a process. You don't just snap and you're healed, right? And don't just snap and you don't need them. This is a nervous system thing, okay? So don't beat yourself up. Treat it as practice, okay? They are not the authority on what you should feel bad about, embarrassed about, or feel like you've abandoned yourself again. I understand that you're going to be feeling these things, but separate them. Don't believe that they are all that you are. Don't believe that these feelings are who you are. Yeah? This is the stage of withdrawal. So that also normalize it. Not so you can feel it forever, but so you can let these feelings be coming to the surface and released. The more you release them honestly, the less power they have over you. Okay? Again, release them in a safe space, and journaling and texting your bestie, texting yourself. And if you do contact them, don't beat yourself up. Bring yourself back to yourself, okay? Yeah. Place your hand on yourself, on your heart, when your body starts to panic. Breathe. Remind yourself, this feeling is not forever. Yeah? Because truly it's not. It is not. Stage number 4, identity collapse. Then comes the stage that nobody talks about enough, which is, who are you without the chaos? without fixing someone, without proving your worth, without waiting for the messages, without managing other people's emotions, right? This stage can feel very empty and disorienting and almost numb, because many women lose their identity inside survival mode. And now there's silence, but underneath that silence, your real self is slowly returning. This is where you begin to rebuild your relationship with you, not through perfection, through presence. Try new routines, rest more, reconnect with your body, reconnect with your old passions, spend time alone without trying to escape yourself. So feel things, cry things out, punch the pillow. Yeah. And most importantly, stop speaking to yourself like you are a problem to fix. You are not a problem to fix, okay? Curiosity, self-forgiveness, reconnecting, permission to feel everything safely. You are a person returning home to yourself. And perhaps you forgot what it feels like to be you. And that's a little scary. But it is rewarding at the end when you truly start seeing yourself, get to know yourself, get to know your likes, dislikes, what you love, what you don't love, what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. Yeah. The reward in all of this is you. It's worth it. Yeah. And then comes the stage number 5, which is rebuilding self-trust. It is quieter but incredibly powerful. You begin making small decisions for yourself again. You begin hearing your own voice again. You stop outsourcing your worth. You stop needing constant reassurance to feel okay. And healing here often looks very quiet and ordinary. You're just setting boundaries, leaving situations earlier. You stay with yourself more and more. Say what you actually feel. Rest when tired. Eat properly. Calming yourself instead of abandoning yourself. So you're like becoming your bestie. Yeah. This is where you begin becoming emotionally safe for yourself. You realize that you are a safe space for yourself. And if you get triggered during this stage, that does not mean you have failed in any way. Okay? It means your nervous system is learning new patterns. That is trial and error. So be patient with yourself. Speak to yourself gently. It shouldn't be anything like, what's wrong with me? But what do I need right now? Yeah. And that question changes the relationship you have with yourself completely. Give yourself what you need. 6. Stage 6. First, healthy connection. Then eventually, the healthy love enters your life. Or you become open to it, yeah. And this stage can feel surprisingly uncomfortable at first. Weird. Because healthy love often feels calm, consistent, clear, steady. And if you have experienced chaos, that can feel so unfamiliar. Sometimes even boring, yeah. Not because there is lack of depth. The depth will be building slowly and slowly, but because your nervous system was trained to associate anxiety with love, the butterflies, right? So triggers may still come up. You may overthink You may fear abandonment. You may expect inconsistency, or still brace yourself for the for a punch, like an emotional punch. You can become defensive. You can feel scared when things are peaceful or quiet, or they are not responding, right? And this is where honesty becomes important, because it's not about dumping trauma onto your new partner or not making them responsible for regulating you, right? Let's remember, they are not the one that have hurt you, yeah? So start paying attention whether you can start whether you are projecting certain things or whether they are actually true. So this is where your discernment starts to nicely clear, right? So it's not about suppressing your feelings. It's not about that. It's just having a little bit of a longer think. What am I dealing here with? Is that projection, or is that actually them being unfair, them being abusive, them being them stepping on my boundaries, right? So if you feel like if you worry that you have projected or you were unfair, you start to recognize it more and more. So it's so important to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I noticed I got anxious back there. I'm still learning safety. This is triggering an old fear in me. I know this isn't your fault, but I wanted to communicate that honestly. Yeah. And that is very healthy. That is incredibly important part of your healing. If someone truly cares for you, they will not expect perfection of you, okay? They will appreciate your self-awareness, your accountability, and your willingness to grow. Think about it. If this is all you would have wanted from your partner that has not been good for you as well, right? Like them to come to you with vulnerability and say, this wasn't what I meant, like this, I understand that I projected that onto you and I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this, that's not your fault. Yeah. All we wanted is accountability and some improvement, and progress. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen with people who are deeply toxic and not self-aware enough to move away from that behavior. So yes. So when you're with a healthy partner, this is where you get to practice your discernment and what is and isn't healthy reaction, yeah? And be patient with yourself as well. Yes, even if you're projected, remember to validate your inner child. It's like, I understand why you acted this way. This is what your history looked like. No wonder you reacted this way. So it will take you time. It's okay. Be your bestie in all of this. Communicate, take accountability, but don't beat yourself up, okay? It will become less and less powerful. These triggers, they will come, especially with acceptance from the other person, yeah? And it's okay if they get, if you act triggered on them and it was actually not their fault, it's okay. Just got interrupted by my computer. Yes, so it's okay for them to take space as long as they communicated healthy with you. They don't silent treatment. They don't do silent treatment towards you. It's a journey, isn't it? Like eventually you'll start to recognize if they are the person for you as well, because the first connections after trauma bond may still be somehow unhealthy. You may still encountered partially unhealthy people, yeah? So with your discernment growing, you will know when to exit it earlier, when you recognize certain familiarity, some familiarity of patterns, etc. Okay? So give yourself time. Give yourself patience, self-forgiveness. You cannot do anything wrong in that sense of feeling emotions, okay? But take accountability in a healthy way. for yourself. Not with beating yourself up, okay? In a healthy way. The willingness to grow is the most important thing. And trying to be better the next time. And finally, stage number 7, secure, grounded love. Love stops feeling like survival. You no longer chase confusion. You no longer chase, or you no longer confuse. You no longer chase confusion. You no longer confuse inconsistency with chemistry. You no longer abandon yourself to keep someone. Love becomes calm, safe, reciprocal, consistent, grounded. You choose each other. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean because it's calm and safe that it lacks passion. The passion builds up alongside the journey. You don't constantly need to prove your worth anymore. You don't live in panic. You don't fear every silence. And most importantly, you do not lose yourself inside love anymore. You remain connected to yourself while loving another person. And this is what healthy love feels like. Not perfect, not fantasy, safe enough to be real. And there's one more thing that I wish someone told me earlier. Healing doesn't always happen in a straight line. Sometimes grief comes at later stages. Sometimes your body processes things after your mind already moved forward. So you can be in a healthy relationship, finally safe, finally loved in the way you deserve to be loved, and suddenly experience waves of sadness, anxiety, exhaustion, heart palpitations, sensitivity to noises, or emotional release. These are real examples from my life. And that doesn't automatically mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes your body feels finally safe enough to let go of what it had to suppress in survival mode, okay? So please don't shame yourself for your humanity during healing process. Support your body. Rest, breathe, journal. Get in touch with nature. Walk on grass with your bare feet. Get medical support when needed, okay? If you feel worried about your health. Love yourself through the process. You are not healing incorrectly just because grief still visits sometimes. So if you are still at the early stages right now, please hear me clearly. You are not behind. You're not failing. You are not too damaged for healthy love. Healing from trauma bond happens layer after layer, okay? Moment by moment, choice by choice. So stop trying to rush yourself towards the final stage. Instead, ask, how can I love myself through the stage that I'm currently in? Because every stage of this journey deserves compassion and space and time. And one day, you will look back at the version of you who thought she would never feel safe again and realize she carried you all the way there in a brave, strong way. You were always strong. You were always special. You were always worthy of love, regardless of the stage. Okay. So be loving and compassionate for her. You'll get there. I can see that already. I can see you being free, joyful, safe. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up because of the journey ahead. Okay? You got this. I know you got this. I'm sending you my love. I'm sending you butterflies, joy, lightness, relief. Give those things to yourself through loving yourself. And I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, you're worth it. Take good care of your heart. That is it for today. And I'll see you next week.